YouTube? It's Will from Will Development. This is my 309th weekly update. Obviously, I'm in much better spirits this week than last week. And I did want to take a second to sort of explain, I guess, a little bit about my personality. I'm the kind of person where when there's a problem I can fix, or I know I should be able to fix, but can't, it hovers over me, and it really bothers me. I don't know if that's necessarily a flaw or a positive thing, but it just is what it is. So especially when it comes to automotive things, when I know what a particular problem is, and I feel like I've done the correct course of action and it still doesn't quite work out, it bothers me a lot. It hovers over me. All that being said, the vehicle's back, totally running order. Turns out the starter that I got was bad. That's what I get for trying to save $40. But I got a new one, and then my alternator was the original problem. With everything, did the, I guess, smart thing and just bought the new one, brand new, so I won't have to deal with it for a while. And everything's been going good for the past 4 days, I'd say. 3 days. 3 days. Everything's been good. So 2 or 3 days. I don't remember how long it's been, but everything's good. Everything's as it should be with that. So that's good news there. Training this week went very well, actually. Monday, we got into the gym late, so there wasn't a lot of time to do a lot of things, so I said, let me just do squats, and we'll call it a day. I actually skipped deadlifts on Monday. And I don't actually recall what I did. I think I worked up to... I know what I did. I did 3 sets of 3 at 315, and called it a day. And those went good. Nothing hurt. My knee is starting to sort itself out. I made the joke to one of the guys at the gym because my right calf and right knee have been giving me a lot of it's more uncomfortable than pain, I would say. It's not really painful, but it's definitely uncomfortable at times, where I would feel the calf was really tight and the knee was just not happy. And sometimes I would step certain ways and the knee would be like, what are you doing? Both on the inside and the outside. So it was one of those things. I made the joke. I was just like, look, my body's just adapting to my new style of squatting, and eventually it will just sort itself out. And to that end, I believe I've been correct, because the knee is slowly but surely being less and less uncomfortable. Put it on a scale, 1 to 10. I was walking around some of these days for the last week or so. It would be jumping up to about like a 8 on the uncomfortable scale, bordering towards pain. And then now I'm down to like peaks at like 4 in terms of uncomfortability, where it's just like, cool, things are actually, it actually is sorting itself out and no longer giving me any discomfort at all. So doing the right thing there, I take it. Tuesday, because the knee was feeling better, I decided to start doing a little more standing pressing, and what did I do? I think I did sets of 3 with 155 strict press, and I want to say I did like 3 sets of that. And it was just one of those things. A big part of it is the knee was giving me a little bit of kind of trouble, so sort of locking the knees out, locking the legs out, or attempting to not keep them completely locked out was adding a little bit of a challenge there that I didn't necessarily want. But it worked out. Wednesday off. I believe that's when I actually put my alternator on and got the truck working again, turned in that stupid core. Anyway, Thursday, squats and deadlifts, I said I wanted to just do 5 singles at 325 as sort of a deload, because knowing that my max is 350, going just to doing singles at 325, it's still going to cause a stimulate, but just doing them as singles, I knew would put me in a way where it wouldn't necessarily risk anything, and I knew it was a weight that I could handle for singles, seeing as I had just done 315 for threes. So 325 for just singles is nothing. So I looked at it as sort of a mild deload, where when you look at it, I did 9 reps with a particular weight. I don't know exactly what percentage that would be. I can find that out real quick, actually. Do. Noises to keep people entertained. Noises to cover all this stuff up. Let's see, 350 for 1. 315 is right around 90%. So I was doing arguably 90% for 3 sets of 3, which in my mind basically tells me that 350 is not actually my max. If I could do 315 for 3 reps, projected 1 rep max. Oh no, yeah, that actually is right on the nose. Yeah, 315 for 3s puts my 1 rep max at about 344. So it's one of those things when you play with like 1 rep max calculators versus percentage calculators. You could kind of take both percentages and the 1 rep max calculations and sort of combine the two, and you sort of figure out like, okay, 315 for 3 is actually pushing it a little bit, but in a good way, you know what I mean? So then doing the 325, let's see, 350 for 1. 325 is close to like 93% probably. Maybe like 92%. So doing that for just a bunch of singles, it's just eliciting a different response, but the volume is so low that it still gives me a slight sort of break in that. And I also wanted to just do that because I didn't want to burn myself out too much, because I really wanted to deadlift yesterday because I hadn't, previously in the week. And the way that deadlift session went was such that it made me, it really showed me that what I've been doing is working. The 2 times a week deadlifting, but the volume's really not that more, not that much more than, say, if I was doing it just once a week, just having 1 session. And the intensity level is not that much more varied than if I was, say, just doing once a week and sort of doing, 85 this week and then 90 this week and then down to 80 and then, that sort of thing, slowly climbing. It showed me that what I'm doing is working because time was running later than I wanted, and I went, what, screw this. And I warmed up 135, 225, 315, threw on the belt. I said, I'm just jumping straight to 400, 405. And I actually pulled the 405 for the single, and it felt awful. Everything looked good, but it just felt awful. It wasn't as fast as I would have wanted it to be. And I was just in a bit of a mood, so I said, screw it. I'm going to throw in 335, which would have been a PR. And I said, no, you know what? 335 is a weird number. Let's just go to 440. And the joke around the gym between myself and the other guy that was in there was, the perfect frequency for everybody to hear. And the 440 actually flew up better and faster than my 400 did. And I said, wow, okay, I've clearly got a little more in the tank. So I took off the little weights and threw on 25s, which would make it 455, and pulled that. And I was very excited, and it feels really good to break through a PR that much. I mean, that's 25 pounds over what I'd done in when I was still training here at the house, and then it's 35 pounds over what I used to call my lifetime PR. And it's really cool because it puts me well over double body weight deadlift, because I'm weighing in at like 206, 207 averaging right now. So I mean, just to pull 410 or 412, I guess, would be double, but I pulled 440 like it was easy, and then 455, so I'm well over double body weight deadlift, which makes me feel really good and gives me sort of hope. And I know a big part of that is because my new squat stance is a little more narrow, so I'm getting a little more power out of the bottom off the initial pull because of that more narrow stance. And then because my back and hips aren't hurting, I know my mental strength is back. and it's just like it was a crazy cool moment, to pull that much weight. That's like a weight where I never saw it as inconceivable, but I just thought it wouldn't be till next year that I would be pulling that kind of weight. As for how that one looked, I have no idea. It was so like I'm just doing it. I felt like it was, probably a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10 lift. Not total destruction of my lower back, but nothing hurt afterwards, so I call it a win. Excuse me. And then, so that was great. And then tonight I did a little bit of pressing. Decided to just do push presses. I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. One day of strict. If strict feels good that day, I'll just do strict. If it doesn't, I'll just go right into push pressing. And I did 155 for sets of 5, and I was really working on my rebound pressing. So basically getting it out and then just pressing and then coming right back into the bounce. Because I have a real problem with that, and in max rep events, which a lot of strongman is on pressing, that's going to be the best technique for efficiency to get the most reps. So did those with a 1 to 2 count at the top, bringing it down and then right back into it as best I could. And every rep felt pretty snappy. I would say I did 4 sets of 5, so out of the 20 reps, maybe 4 of them, probably 3 of them, were not as snappy as I wanted, but saying that overall they were snappy, that made me feel good. So that's where we're at with that. And I'm running out of time, so it's perfect. So yeah, sometimes when you go for a PR, just kind of shut off your brain and go for it. And every once in a while things work out really well, like they did for me. So I'm very excited and very happy to be pulling that kind of weight. New goal is 500, almost an inconceivable weight for me, but it'll be exciting to get there. I have birthday squats coming up in under a month, so I'm going to be putting just a touch more volume on the squats just to sort of prepare myself for that. Supposed to do 27 reps because that'll be my 27th birthday, but I'm stupid, so I want to go for a new gym record, which I believe the gym record is something like 36 or 37 in a row. And I want to give the real middle finger, because it's not enough that I win, you also have to lose. So I'm going to try to double that. I'm going to try to do, 54 reps with somewhere around, it'll be like 205 pounds. So look forward to that, and keep getting those PRs. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?